be loose.
Let's see.
Need to sing a song.
I'm good. There's Chris. Hey,
Chris.
Davis.
Oh. Hello. Trying to see who's tuning in.
Get you more
Good
picture.
evening. Good evening. The other way.
Go.
Take it.
Yeah. Like
There
that.
we go.
Like that. Yeah. Perfect.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Good
As
evening.
they say, come on in the room.
Come on in the building.
Come on in the building. Can you guys see? Do my eyes look red? My eyes look so red to me.
Thank you for joining us this evening, everyone. I hope you have had a wonderful Wednesday. It's what many people call hump day. I just consider Wednesday another day of the week. Another day to get better, right? So that's what my aspirations are every day, is to get better. Thank you for joining us. As you're coming in, joining us, please go ahead and like, share, invite.
Hi, Marla.
Like,
how are you? Hey, Blanche.
share, invite. Like, share, invite. Do us that favor for us. We're going to be talking about tonight mutual support in relationships. Now, this can go well beyond marriage. This is a business relationship,
A
friendship, whatever relationship you're in. You need to ensure that you're getting mutual support, because it can be draining when it's just one-sided. But we won't jump in just too early. We'll give some more people opportunity to join, and also give you an opportunity to invite people. Just tag their names in the comment section. And that's just like picking up the phone saying, hey, you need to join me right now. Faith, Family, and the Future is on with Dexter and Jeanette Howard. So tag their name in the comment section. You got friends, or if your spouse is not with you, put their name in the comment section. Say, hey, we need to be watching this tonight. And I promise you it's going to add value to your life. All right.
We want to give you some maybe some deeper insight and some tools to move forward with.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, welcome to Faith, Family, and the Future with Dexter and Jeanette Howard. Our mission is to hopefully take our experience, our passion, and knowledge, and use it to strengthen you for a better future. And so that's our intentions every week, but that's our intentions tonight. And so we hope to be able to do that. As I said, we're talking about mutual support.
Yeah, for the past couple of weeks, we've actually been talking about some building blocks.
Yeah.
To create, we call it a marriage, a family that cannot fall.
It cannot fall.
And that's a big promise.
Yeah.
But really, we know this principle of a house that is divided cannot stand.
Yeah.
That's a big promise too.
That's a big promise.
No, I'm saying, if you think about that, if your house is divided, Jesus said it cannot stand.
Wow.
Meaning that inevitably it's going to fall.
It's going to fall.
But the opposite of that is also true.
Mm-hmm.
That a house that is united cannot fall.
Cannot fall. That's right.
It can't fall.
Yeah.
It can't fail.
That's a principle.
That's powerful. That's a
that's
law.
a powerful law.
That's a law. And so the key, if you really want to build a lasting marriage and family that can withstand all the troubles, trials, and tribulations and turmoil that life will bring you, I think it's not just for a family. Even you think about even for an organization.
Yeah, absolutely.
For a nation.
Yes,
we're dealing with it
for a
right
nation.
now. Unfortunately, we are dealing with.
That's when most nations
our
can be
nation,
conquered. Is when they're
they
divided.
are divided, and that's a huge concern right now.
That's a huge concern.
A huge concern. I don't know if we've ever been this divided as a nation over so many different issues. But anyway, we're talking about relationships. But the principle, I think the principle, if you catch a hold of that principle,
Yeah.
It's about being united.
That's right.
A house that is united cannot fall. And
That's
so,
right.
but how do we achieve this thing called unity or being united in our marriages and families with so much that can pull us apart?
Yeah.
And it's intentional. I don't think it just happens.
It's intentional.
It comes with it is an intentional thing. You build it intentionally. You build it with skill, with know-how, with great intention. And we're building something
on purpose. I like to say.
Yeah, we're doing this thing on purpose. Man, marriage don't work unless it's on purpose.
Family is important enough
to learn how to do it well.
learn how to do it well.
And I think you have to learn.
Yeah, and that's what they're going to do tonight.
That's what they're going to do. Yeah.
And so the first week we talked about in relation to building a house that is united. The first principle that we talked about is what?
Share beliefs.
Share beliefs. Now that's the foundation. Got to have shared beliefs and values.
That's the hooking up point right there.
That's right? The hooking up point. Then last week we talked about, what did we talk about last week?
I'm kind of sleepy. I didn't get no sleep last. What we talk about? Equal partnership.
Equal partnership.
50,
yes.
50. That's
50-50 down the middle.
That's both partners in the marriage, husband and wife, or whatever it is.
Coming to the table, finding the place where you can agree.
No, that was the first.
No, lesson. I'm sorry.
You didn't get enough sleep either. I'm going to bed early now. All right, let's get on topic. Here.
No, equal partnership
neither
is
person having
neither party leaving away from the table feeling cheated, feeling like,
or neither party having more influence or control,
or neither party having more control or influence.
It's just about not being controlling over the other. Period. It's having equal weight in the marriage.
That's right.
And so you go back and watch that video. That was pretty deep stuff right there. Okay.
So tonight, once again, for those of you who have just joined us, please go ahead and like, share, invite. Please invite or tag your friends. We're talking about mutual support. Mutual support. So let's get started.
Listen, I'm going to ask you some questions, and then you all can answer too, because we would love to see your comments in the comment section. But we're going to just kind of talk to each other for a moment here and just go back and forth. So, in your opinion, what is mutual support? In your opinion, when you hear that phrase, what do you think of?
It's support that benefits both parties.
Okay.
It's beneficial for the whole. It's support that's beneficial for the whole.
Okay.
It doesn't just benefit one.
Okay.
It benefits both. And it's mutual. I mean, by the mere virtue of the word mutual, it's mutual. That means support's coming both ways.
Yeah.
Support that goes both ways.
Yeah.
It's not one-sided.
No.
So that would be my interpretation of what mutual support means.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would feel like it's the resources, all resources running both ways in the relationship. Whether those are emotional resources, financial resources, whatever those resources are, they're running both ways. Understanding whatever they are. Even that would be emotional resources. It's all running both ways. So both parties in the relationship feel like they're getting what they need.
That's correct.
They feel like they're getting what they need. Okay, whether that's emotional, financial, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Sexual,
right.
If it's a marriage relationship, whatever it is, both parties feel like their needs are being met.
The whole point is a relationship cannot be one-sided.
It can be, but it
should not be.
It should not be.
And the reason I say it cannot be because it's not going to work very long. It's not going to be very successful if it's one-sided.
No. Absolutely. And so we love to hear you just chime in there on the comment section.
Yeah, what does mutual support mean?
When you hear that term, mutual support, what do you see? What does that look like for you? Let's talk about what are some symptoms of a lack of mutual support. When you see in a relationship, you can see some symptoms of it. What does it look like?
Oh, wow. I would say one person is starting to disengage from the relationship.
So when one party is disengaging?
Disengaging, when you see disengaging, I would say, Well, that's the same as disengaging. I was getting ready to say when a person begins to turn inward, when the other person begins to turn inward, and uh, really starts to isolate themselves. Really, well, that's disengaging though. You begin to see relationship atrophy or atrophy in that person, where that person literally begins to shrivel up and become half of themselves or less of themselves.
Somebody, it's clear to me in a relationship, I can clearly see when there is a lack of mutual support in a relationship, because you can see one person looks like they're happy and thriving and the other person is not.
That's right.
One person is achieving their dreams and the other person is lagging behind.
Even practically,
yeah.
A person's dressed better than the other person.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You can see it. You can see it. It's clear signs to me that once somebody's needs in the relationship is not being met, somebody's dreams in the relationship is not being supported. Somebody is just the armor bearer for the other person, if you know what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so it's got a look, it's got an energy, it's got a feel when you get around it. And you can see
the other person is not thriving.
The other person, one party in the marriage is not thriving.
They're not thriving.
Absolutely. Yeah. One party in the marriage is not thriving. And so that's clear symptoms of a lack of mutual support. The resources are not running both ways in the marriage, or in the relationship. The resources are not running both ways. Somebody's the giver and somebody is the taker.
Yeah. Blanche says mutual support to her is supporting one another with a mutual goal.
That's good. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that is good.
You have a mutual goal and you're supporting each other as you go after those things. Absolutely. Yeah. What is standing in the way? What do you think stands in the way of mutual support in relationships? Of both parties feeling like they're supported and getting their needs met. What stands in the way of that?
Well, of course, being a man, I can speak as it relates to men, most men that I know, even myself, we can get caught up in pride, ego, and numero uno, selfishness.
Absolutely selfish.
That's the detriment to any relationship. Selfishness.
Yeah, selfishness.
Yeah.
We hadn't talked about this, but I was thinking today, because it's a really popular term that's out today. Light is being shed on this thing called narcissism.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And a lot of people are in relationships with narcissistic people. Now, when I talk about narcissism, what it is in general is it basically is selfishness. It's self-centeredness. It is a person's unwillingness to see the needs of others, care about the needs of others beyond themselves. Yeah. Now, there's this thing called narcissistic personality disorder, which is a diagnosis. Now, that's a disease. Yes. Only about 1% I think of people actually have the diagnosis. It's really a psychological disease. Yeah. Mental disease, they call it.
It's the inability.
But it is literally something is not working right up here in the brain wiring, where they have the inability to put other people's needs above their own. They have the inability to meet the needs of other people. They literally are the center.
Or to prioritize
somebody else.
But that's far few in between.
That's few in between. Most of this, in most people, is just a character flaw. Yeah. It's just a character flaw of just total selfishness. It's all about me. Yeah. It's all about me. And if it's not all about them, they don't even know how to be. It's not all about them. Right. Okay. And so it's hard to be in a relationship with a narcissistic person. I know many divorces that have happened because the person was in a relationship with a narcissistic person and they felt hopeless. They did everything in their power. And they couldn't turn the person to see.
It doesn't feel good to be in a relationship with a narcissistic person, because it's like once they get what they need.
Oh yeah, totally.
They're throw satisfied. You to the curb.
Once they get what they need, they're satisfied.
Yeah.
And they can't even see.
Yeah.
The neglect or the depletion of another person, the other person in the relationship. And so, yeah, this is a very, very real
Very
thing.
real. Yeah.
But relationships, they cannot thrive
Mm-mm.
without mutual support.
Yeah.
And at some point, um, we'll talk about, what could possibly happen in a
Yeah.
relationship if this thing doesn't turn around.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
doesn't get checked. Okay. So let's talk about if I want to say this, if either spouse or either party in a relationship feels like they're not being properly supported,
Mm.
the whole marriage is suffering.
Wow.
Okay, so because a husband and a wife are individual parts of one body.
That's right.
Of one body. So if one part of the body is not being properly nourished,
like literally blood, like our body.
Yeah.
And my arm is a member of my body.
Mm-hmm.
So if blood stops being able to get to a certain part of my body, such as my arm, my arm's going to eventually shrivel up and die.
Yeah, you're gonna start that part.
It's going to atrophy.
That part is going to atrophy, but your whole body is going to suffer.
Absolutely.
Because your whole body can't function to its potential without the arm.
Absolutely, that's exactly
right.
And
so basically, so I hope you guys are understanding that if one part of the marriage, if one person in the marriage is suffering, or feels neglected or depleted or unhappy, resources are not flowing to them, okay, the whole marriage is suffering.
So what I hear you saying is, when I give you support, I'm really supporting me.
Totally.
I'm supporting the whole relationship. It's for the good of the whole.
It's for the good of the whole.
And that's really what mutual support is about.
That's so good.
It's about the good of the whole.
It's for the good of the whole.
It's for the good of the whole.
Absolutely.
And I don't think people get that. Sometimes selfishness blinds us.
Oh.
And so we don't really get that helping you helps me.
That's right.
And so, especially if the Bible says that the woman is the man's rib, or came from the man's rib, the man's side, that means you're a part of me.
No, yeah,
and so if I mistreat you, I'm mistreating me.
That's what the scripture says.
If you mistreat me, you're mistreating you.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Totally. If your husband, your wife looking all neglected and sad and unhappy, guess what? That's a reflection.
That's an indictment on you.
That's an indictment on you. I remember Dad Houck, he's our spiritual father. Years ago, he would judge my husband's success on how well I was doing.
Yeah.
If I didn't look like I was doing well, he had words for this brother.
Still to this day.
He didn't want to care about how much money you made, how big the church is, or with the ministry or whatever. Dad was judging your whole success.
That's right.
How well you were doing as a man.
That's right.
On how
well you were doing.
How good I looked. If it looked like I was happy.
That's right.
If it looked like my needs were being met. And if it looked like my needs weren't being met, or I wasn't happy, he had some words for you.
I remember I had my probably biggest coaching session with him. We were young at this time, younger than what we are now, and our kids were smaller, and they're stair steppers. And I just remember you being just worn out, and you looked it. And I guess Dad could see it.
Yeah.
And then he could see how the kids were acting too.
Wearing me down.
At his place, and he was like, "All right, okay." He said, "Do you know how to break a switch off the thing? You know how to whip your kids?" I said, "Yes, sir." He's like, "Well, you need to start doing it because they are wearing her out."
Yeah, because they were wearing me out.
Yeah. And so he could see that there wasn't mutual support because they were draining you, and I wasn't doing anything to help to curb that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
so
it was
mutual
affecting
support.
my well-being.
It was affecting your well-being.
Stepping in.
That's right.
At that time, to ensure that these kids are not wearing my wife out.
That's right.
And so that's a really good example right there.
Yeah.
And so anyway, here's a key point. If you are feeling all happy and satisfied in your relationship, but your spouse is not, the marriage is in trouble.
Oh, can I tell on myself just really quick?
Yeah.
And I don't know. Somebody else may fit this bill as well. I got a feeling somebody else, especially men, fit this bill. Uh, but when I was really young and immature in this relationship, in this marriage, I used to just think just because I was happy-go-lucky, we was doing good. Dexter and Jeanette are doing good because I'm doing good. You know, everything's going well in my world. You know,
Yeah.
and that was the furthest from the truth.
Yeah.
Probably the exact opposite. And if I didn't hurry up and get a wake-up call and have some people in my life that could snatch me back to reality, my marriage probably was going to end up suffering really drastically.
Yeah.
And so just because you're feeling good, it don't mean that the other person, all is well with them.
Yeah.
And so don't get caught in that trap.
Yeah. So your spouse's happiness matters.
Yes, it does.
Not just your happiness.
You need to be just as concerned about your spouse's happiness
being met. If you're in a marriage, you need to be your spouse's needs and desires in the marriage. They matter a whole bunch.
They matter.
Not just yours.
They matter.
You know, if either party is feeling unsupported or in whatever way their needs aren't being met, the marriage is in trouble. You guys, this thing is about love, and you got to see beyond yourself.
That's
you got
right.
to see beyond yourself.
That's
it
right.
needs to be important to you.
Yes.
That your spouse, and we're talking about the context of marriage, but this can run in any relationship. Any relationship.
Yeah, absolutely.
That the other person feels as supported and great about the relationship that you do.
Yeah.
I mean, I think even friendships, I'm thinking about friendships, you know, because this thing of mutual support, I'm telling you, it's in any relationship.
Yeah.
It's in any relationship.
Absolutely.
I don't know about you, but I don't want to be a part. I'm going to steer clear of a so-called friend after a while where I'm the one just constantly, they're wearing me out.
I'm just giving,
you know, I'm just giving.
Oh, yeah.
You know, or you don't call me till you need something,
right?
Or you know, it's just the resources are just flowing from me to them.
Yeah. And you start to feel that.
And you start to feel it, and you start avoiding the phone calls.
Yeah.
Because guess what? They're depleting you. They're
depleting
wearing you out.
Yeah.
And they're supposed to be a friend, but because the resources are just running one way, they start feeling more like a liability in your life, like they're on the liability side of your life. You know,
even practically, you can't just keep making withdrawals from the
and
bank
you never
make a deposit. You must make a deposit.
Exactly. And so this thing is really important in relationships, you guys.
Yeah.
In your marriage or in any friendship that you're trying to cultivate. I'm telling you, even with your children.
Absolutely.
You know, it can become, especially as your children become adults. You know, I don't want to become just a burden on my children.
Yeah.
You know,
absolutely.
Where all of a sudden just you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
That I'm constant. There's a flow of giving and receiving, a constant giving and receiving, giving and receiving that is happening in those relationships. Support and resources running both ways.
Matter of fact, can I give away a secret of mine?
Yeah.
And we've been at this for 26 plus years now. I try to outgive.
Yeah.
I try to put. I don't necessarily expect her to try to give as much as I give. But if both parties are trying to, I don't want to say pit yourself in a competition with each other. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying when your mindset is that I'm not necessarily looking to just receive, although we need to receive. I want to give. Can you imagine when both people, that's your intentions, then you're going to get mutual support.
Yeah, when it's the intention of both people. I personally don't ever want you to get caught in a deficit with me.
Absolutely.
You know,
absolutely.
I always want to be on the surplus side
overflow
with you.
Yeah.
You know, that I have made more deposits than I have made withdrawals.
That's how you withstand the storms of life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's how you make it through the tough times.
I think about, we're just being transparent here. Because I can see sometimes our life examples,
Mhm.
probably people remember more than whatever
Yeah.
little principles we're trying to teach.
Yeah.
But an example of this, I'm just thinking, recently, it's no secret, I've had an extreme battle for the
Mm.
last 18 months, and I'm getting on the other side. I feel like the exit door is right around the corner.
Yeah.
So I'm almost at full recovery.
Mhm.
But it's been he double hockey sticks,
Mm.
not just for me, but for my husband,
Mm.
because and for probably the whole family to some extent
Yeah.
has felt it.
Yeah.
And I've had to make a lot of withdrawals.
Mm.
I'm just thinking about how my family, uh, so much, because I wasn't able to contribute so many of the things that I usually handled or was able, I contribute or covered that territory. I hadn't been able to do any of that.
Yeah.
Very a small percentage.
Yeah.
I've been operating at sometimes some days 0%, some days
Mhm.
10%, some days 20.
Yeah.
Whatever, and that means that my husband's been having to cut all of that slack. My children have had to step in and do
Yeah.
things, but thank God, I got a whole lot of
You
years
got enough years of
of
depositing.
deposits
Yeah.
that I've had a lot of room to make some withdrawals
That, yeah.
over a year and a half.
That this year and a half didn't bankrupt
It's
us.
cold. That's good. This year and a half of me being
It didn't
sick
bankrupt
and not
our
being,
relationship.
it didn't bankrupt the relationship. It didn't bankrupt the family.
Yeah.
It didn't bankrupt the ministry.
It didn't bankrupt the ministry.
Because I had made so many deposits
Mhm.
over the years
Yeah.
of loving and helping my family and my husband and people.
Yeah.
And I didn't bankrupt any of my friendships.
Yeah.
They were always there when I called,
Yeah.
and they're still there.
And they're still there.
They're
Yeah.
still there. And so that's a good example there, you guys, why you got to constantly not be selfish
Yeah.
in your friendships and your relationships, and be a leech but a giver and a lover. Okay, so let's talk about just a couple more things, and then I'd love to hear what some of your comments are. Romans, we're going to talk about this concept of preferring one another,
Did
because
we
this
read
is
that
really
scripture yet?
no, but let's
Okay.
skip that.
All right.
And I think we talked about it well enough.
Gotcha.
But Romans 12:10 gives a real powerful command about how to operate in relationships, not
Oh,
just
that's the NIV, Romans 12:10.
yeah, not just in marriage, but in all relationships. But of course, this works in our relationships. It talks about us preferring one another. Do you have that?
Yeah, let me I'm almost there. Romans 12:10. Here we go. All right. It says, be devoted to one another in love, honor. You know what? That's let me read it out of the King James Version. It says, be kindly affection one to another with brotherly love and honor, preferring one another.
Preferring one another. What does that mean to you? Preferring one another. Type there in the comments section. What does that mean to you? Or what does that look like to you to prefer someone else? Yeah. Preferring one another. Because that's something that if you get that right in your marriage, both spouses get that right in your marriage, y'all gonna live long and strong and grow old and happy together. If you learn how to prefer each other.
That's right.
To prefer each other. Let's I want to give this example of something that happened a couple of years ago. And I saw this in action. This is just to give you an example of when we were, this was a couple of years ago, me and my husband and 3 of our girls were out somewhere eating at a restaurant. And it was late. We had been out late doing something. And I just remember us going to eat late, and we were very, very hungry.
We were moving out of that house.
Oh yeah, that's probably
it was all of our girls actually.
I remember it being just a real stressful situation, and we needed to get something to eat. Everybody
was hungry,
really, really hungry.
Yeah.
So we found a restaurant that was open. Everybody was so hungry that we ordered an appetizer of some chicken wings. And so you got all these ravenous people around the table.
They devoured those.
Yeah,
wings.
And my husband, he's the biggest. He's a big guy. We're all women, all girls. And so he's a big guy. He's got an appetite bigger than all of us.
Yeah.
So we were eating the wings, and then it got down to the last wing on the table, the last chicken wing on the table, and I knew that he was still hungry. Okay, and then he could have easily taken that last wing, but the girls and I guess we were full or whatever, and there was one chicken wing on the table, and I sat there and watched him not take that last chicken wing. And I watched him do it many, many times, but I made a mental note of it this time. And I said to him, I said, "Baby, you go ahead and eat that last wing.
Yeah.
I think we've all got enough." He would not eat the last wing.
Yeah.
And I knew why he wouldn't do it, and he still doesn't. I don't even think you're conscious of doing it now. You just don't do it. But in his mind, it is his job to provide for us. He is the provider.
Yeah.
He loves his family. He honors his family. He sees his role as the need meter in the family. And I'm the guy that feeds these 6 women. There's no way I'm taking the last chicken wing. If somebody's gonna not have enough or be hungry at the table, it's gonna be me.
So there's
It's
a couple
not
of
going
things
to be
working in that.
my wife and my daughters.
So there's a couple of things working in that.
Right.
You're talking about preference and prefer one another, but you can't prefer one another until you have deference.
Until you have honor for the other.
Honor. That's
Yeah.
what deference is. So
Yeah.
so type that word in the comment section. Deference.
Yeah.
Deference. You got to have deference. Let's read Ephesians chapter 5, verse 21. This is out of the Message Bible translation. It says, "Out of respect for Christ, be courteously reverent to one another."
That's deep.
Reverent.
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 Reverent means that you hold somebody in
high esteem. In high esteem. And that's what deference is.
That's what deference is, holding somebody in
high esteem.
High
honor.
Esteem.
It's an issue of the heart.
It's an issue of the heart. And that gives me a vision for my life, because I'm always trying. I'm not trying. I am always working on my character and loving people.
We all
better.
should be.
And because they'll let you in on a secret. So I don't plan on dying soon. But just so the family knows, I want my epitaph on my tombstone. I was trying to get choked up about this because it's so real for me. But I want my epitaph on my tombstone to be, "She loved everybody." That I was known for loving people.
Yeah.
I loved everybody. I don't
Yeah.
care how high, how low, where you are, where you're from. When you come in my presence, you feel love. That's all you feel is love and accepted. And so right here, this is saying, out of reverence for Christ, be courteously reverent to one another.
Yeah.
That means treating people with a sense of reverence, that their presence is so that, people don't forget.
And that means you got to lower yourself.
You got to lower yourself.
That's what deference is about. You got to lower. It means
you
to
gotta
defer.
Lower yourself.
Yeah.
And not be wanting to be respected and honored, but show such a high respect and honor for other people. People will forget what you said, but they'll never forget how you made them feel in your presence.
Yeah.
And so you want to, I want to, for my husband to in my heart, to so honor him that he can feel that when he's around me.
Yeah.
And my children. I learned now I'm an older, I'm not an old mama, but I'm seasoned. I'm a seasoned.
You still got young kids.
I still, anyway, I don't tell my age, but anyway, I've been at this a long time.
Yeah.
And so if I go back over again, I would do so many things differently. But I remember as a young mom, our first 3 kids, probably the first 5, I tell you the truth. I was so stressed out. And I probably walked, they walked in the room, I was just a stressed out mama doing too much.
Yeah.
And I loved my children dearly.
Yeah.
But when that 6th one came along, I was a more mature mother. I was 38 when I had our 6th child.
And our children were older.
And the children were older.
They could help out more.
But that child, when she walked in the room, my eyes lit up.
Yeah, she commanded your attention.
She commanded my attention. My eyes lit up, and I was just like, "Hey, And because of that level of adoration
Mm-hmm.
that she experienced, not just
Mm-hmm.
from me, she experienced from everybody in the
She
house.
thrives.
She thrives to
She
this
thrives
day.
to this
She
day.
is so confident
Absolutely.
because of that level of being treated
Yes.
all the time with a certain level of reverence. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
What if we treated each other, you guys, with that level of reverence?
Yeah.
Not treating them like holy, like God, but I'm talking about that level of courtesy, that level of honor,
Yeah.
that level of esteem. Just the Bible says, do it out of reverence for Christ. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It would bring people to their potential.
The Bible says, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. I look at it this way. What you do unto others will determine what they do unto you. It will determine it. And so
because the world is a mirror.
So let me say it this way.
Yeah.
Because you have seen my deference for my family.
Yeah.
I would almost guarantee that, and you all have proven it out, that it's not hard for you all to bless me when it comes to honoring me.
Nope.
It's not hard because you've seen me esteem you.
That's right.
You've seen me do it. You've seen me give deference.
And put us first.
And so it's not hard for you to prefer me.
Yeah, it's not hard to honor you.
Honor me.
It's not hard to respect you.
Father's Day, my family just blessed my socks off. Everybody knows I'm a shoe fanatic. They got me these wonderful shoes, expensive shoes. And, they just did it and they loved doing it. And I could sense the love. It's like they were so proud of themselves for being able to do it because they knew they blessed Daddy. And so that's what I mean when I say what you do to others will determine the treatment that you receive back.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really will.
Yeah, if you prefer others and you honor others and esteem others.
So preference is giving consideration to someone first.
First, that's what preference is. So deference is holding someone in high esteem.
That's right.
Right? And that's an issue of the heart.
That's right.
When you esteem somebody in your heart.
That's right.
When you hold them at high esteem in your heart, that's deference.
That's deference.
And so when there is deference, there is preference.
There's preference. That's
because
right.
you hold somebody in such a high esteem in your heart.
You put them first.
It's easier to give them consideration and to put them first.
Wow.
It's easier to do it.
I'm sorry. I know I got it, but boy, I got just a fresh dose of revelation of that.
What?
Because I already had it. We talk about this often.
Right.
But man, just the explosion of revelation I just got on that it's like, whoa, wait a minute. Is that because of my heart of deference, it allows me to easily prefer and put first. Now, that was powerful to me. Deference is a mindset.
Totally.
It's a mindset. It's an attitude.
It's an attitude.
And so whatever your attitude is will determine your behavior.
Absolutely.
Behavior always follows mindset.
So right actions come from right thinking.
Right actions come from right thinking.
So if you're having a hard time preferring your spouse, your thinking's
off
right
Something's
here.
off in your heart.
Something's off in your heart or in your thinking and your mindset toward this.
You got a heart issue.
Yeah, it's a heart issue.
Oh, man. Yeah. Most of the ways that you treat your spouse or you treat someone you're in a relationship with, if you find yourself not treating them well, you need to go back and there may be some undealt with something going on in your heart towards that person.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's the truth. It's a mindset. I'm going to say this to show you how it's a mindset. And then we're going to let you guys go. We're just sharing putting all our junk out here, right? We share the good and then we share some of the bad.
If it'll help you.
But I remember I just got over this maybe about So how long I've been a professional coach? About 4 years, almost 5 years now. And so I started, I had this issue. It's been about 5 years ago, and I haven't wrestled with it since. But I just was real mean to you when you woke up in the morning. You remember that? Sometimes I didn't even say good morning. You'd be like, you could at least say good morning.
I'm glad I don't remember that.
As soon as you woke up, I remember. As soon as you woke up, I would just start hitting you with what we got to do today. We got to do this. We got to do that. And you would say, well, you could at least say good morning. You could at least say good morning. But what you didn't know is I had a bad attitude because, and I didn't even realize why. And I knew you were right when you said, well, you could at least say good morning. I knew you were right when you said before you start, just charging at me, because we do, and we work together. We do everything together, and always got a long list of stuff we got to get done. And so I would just, as soon as he'd wake up, I would just hit him with pow, 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 before he can get the sleep out his eyes, And he would always say, good morning. You can at least say good morning. You can at least, then I would say good morning or whatever. And I didn't realize why I had such an attitude. But you know why I had such an attitude?
Why is that?
And I know this because I dealt with this when I was training to become a professional coach. And coaching is all about dealing with people's mindsets. And so I realized it was all in my thinking. So I grew up with a father
that was a while ago.
who was the first person to wake up in the house.
Yeah.
My father woke up at 5. I don't know what time my daddy woke up because wasn't nobody never up but him.
Yeah.
He just got up early.
Yeah.
And my father was an alcoholic. And so he would usually go to bed drunk. Almost every night he'd go to bed drunk. I don't know how he got up that early. I don't know if he was insomniac.
Probably just trained.
But just trained. Yeah. And so my daddy woke up early. And so in my mind, the man of the house, which my husband clearly is, I just didn't
and don't
get
give the people the impression I don't wake up early.
God, no. He gets up. He, at that, I mean, you really are a night owl.
Yeah.
Now, you don't wake up like 5, 6 in the morning, but
right.
you get up every morning.
Yeah.
But I realized that I had this, it was my mindset. I was thinking, it was what I was thinking. You didn't know my bad attitude. I didn't even know this. My bad attitude was from my bad thinking.
Wow.
So my bad behavior in the morning, me just going at him as soon as he woke up, was because in my thinking, I didn't even realize it was in my subconscious. I was thinking, I shouldn't be getting up before you anyway. You should have been up anyway.
Wow.
You should have been up anyway.
Wow.
You should have been up anyway. You should have been up anyway.
Wow.
You should have been up anyway.
Your thinking will determine your action.
Because that's what I saw my daddy doing, getting up anyway. And then when I, was confronted with that, with my mindset, and that's where my bad behavior was coming, was my bad thinking. I had to adjust that. And I realized, okay, so what? He doesn't get up as early as my daddy, but he does get up. And when he gets up, this brother rolls. I mean, he goes from dusk from as soon as he up.
I make up for it.
He makes up for it, And you have to deal with mindset. Does he get everything done? Yes, he gets everything done. He gets too much done, And then on the other end, I'd be complaining because he worked too much. You see, and so, but what I'm trying to say is, my bad behavior, my bad attitude toward him early in the morning.
Bad thinking.
Came from an issue of my thinking.
Yeah.
Okay, my thinking.
Yeah.
And as soon as I adjusted that mindset, I hope you notice I don't just hit you like that early in the morning no more. Or have a bad attitude in the morning. Because what? I adjusted my thinking. That's what we're saying. If it's hard for you to put somebody's needs or above your own, or to show preference to somebody else, to show
adjust your
preference to your
attitude.
Spouse, or your, it's your thinking, it's your attitude, it's how you're esteeming them in some way, because our actions always come from our thinking, right?
That's exactly
or
right.
wrong.
That's exactly right.
Right?
Yeah. Well, this has been good this evening.
Yeah. Let's see what some of the people are saying here. Blanche is saying, my husband and I needed these two strong people to excel our marriage to a new and greater level. Yeah, we need a model.
Everybody needs a model.
Everybody needs a model. If you don't have, it could just be one couple that you admire from a distance. They may not even know your name, but you need somebody that is ahead of you, that you look to.
Yeah,
Don't you think so?
absolutely, absolutely.
I don't
For
think I
anything.
don't think we can do this without.
For anything.
For anything, whether it's marriage, finances, I don't care, whatever it is you're trying to break into.
Wherever you're trying to break into,
do better in your life, whether it's your health,
you need to
your
have a model.
body, anything. You need
A
you
mentor,
need
a model, whatever you want to call
an
it.
example.
Yeah.
And we have had many from
We
a
had
distance.
many,
We've
yeah.
got some from a
And
distance,
from up close.
and we've got some up close. The
Yeah.
ones up close can really get you. You need somebody that can get in your business.
Let's see, new comments.
Oh,
Okay.
Blanche said that was me. Blanche, are you talking about bad attitude in the morning? Yeah.
Well, wonderful, you all.
We've got some other people here. Let's see. Karen
Envious
says,
of one another.
Yeah, I think that's when we were talking
Salary,
about
social acceptance, accomplishment. Yeah.
We were talking about what keeps people from showing mutual support.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What keeps them from what stands in the way of mutual support.
That's right. Yeah.
And you saying being envious of one another. That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
Real.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay, you all. I'm getting an echo. Should I sound in again? Okay.
You know, a perfect. I wanna end with this because it was a powerful moment for us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we were watching this mini series about the Queen. You know, about the royal family. I forget the name of it.
The Crown.
The Crown.
Queen Elizabeth.
Queen Elizabeth. My wife, she's just a fanatic over that type of stuff. You know, royal British living.
I'm British.
And so
I am. I got my ancestry done.
And so, of course, you know, her husband, Prince, what was his name? Charles? I don't know.
Not Charles.
George.
No.
Philip. Well, Philip just started just going wild. Why? Because Philip wasn't feeling supported, mutually supported, needed. He didn't feel like he had any significance in the marriage.
Yeah, because he was married to the Queen.
Because he was always standing, he was always one step behind the Queen.
Yeah.
And a spouse, husband or wife, can't be one step behind.
Mm-hmm.
They cannot feel less significant than the other.
Yep.
Because they're going to act out. And Philip began to act out. And the Queen, she knew the only thing to be done was,
she was going to have to.
I'm going to have to elevate him.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to show him deference and preference.
Yeah.
And she ended up having a ceremony for him.
Yeah.
To make him a part of the monarchy.
Yeah.
And that was a powerful moment because it totally changed Philip.
It totally changed
for the better.
Their marriage. It
changed their marriage. It probably saved their marriage.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She was a wise woman.
And she had to do it in front of people.
Yeah.
So they could give him the same respect that she had just bestowed upon him as queen.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that was a powerful moment.
And
where they became, equals.
Absolutely. They became equals
in the marriage.
Yeah.
And so even though she's still the queen,
mm-hmm.
but you got to go back and watch that. But that was just a powerful moment.
But she was the queen, but she honored him as her husband.
Yeah, she had to honor him.
She had to honor him.
She had to.
Well, y'all, it's been great this evening. Mm-hmm. Thank you all. Invite others every Wednesday, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern. We would love to connect with you right here for Faith Family in the Future.
There's Pastor Horatius.
Hey, my good friend, my brother, Pastor Horatius.
Yes.
How you doing,
Thank
sir?
You all for joining me.
Thank you for joining us.
God bless you all.
Love you all. Have a
families,
wonderful
household.
rest of your Wednesday evening.
All right.
All right.
Take care. Bye-bye.